Alright everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Cowboy Trades and today I'm going to be teaching you how to calculate both simple and compound interest. Now this is going to be really useful if you're studying any economics course or if you're just an investor and you want to know how much money that your money is going to be generating in either a bank, the stock market or any finance sector. So without any further ado, let's jump right in and start with simple interest. Alright, so starting with simple interest. Now we have this basic formula here, P divided by 100 times 100 plus I. Now P simply stands for your initial principal that you're investing, and I simply stands for the interest. So let's say for example we were to invest £1,000 in a savings account in our bank. All we'd have to do is divide that number by 100. And we now know what 1% of our investment is, which is 10. Now we simply need to times it by 100 plus the interest. So say for example, if we're getting 3% interest in our bank, we would times this by 103. So let's see what happens when we times this by 103. You can see our answer here is 1030. And that is literally as easy as simple interest gets. I'll do one more example just to show you how easy it is. Alright, let's say we found a government bond that pays us 10% interest, and because it pays 10%, we want to invest a little bit more. So this time we're going to invest $5,000 into this bond that pays us 10% yearly. We would simply type in our initial investment, divide it by 100 to find out what 1% is, and then times it by 100 plus the interest. So in this case we're earning 10% annually, so we're going to times this by 110, and you can see that after year 1 we have a total of $5,500. Now if you want to figure out how much of this is interest alone, just simply minus your principal. So in this case, if we were to minus 5,000 again, we would simply be left with 500, which is our interest after year 1. So now we know how to do simple interest, we're going to jump into compound interest, which is a little bit more complicated. Alright, so to calculate compound interest, we're left with a slightly more complicated formula, but nevertheless it is still very easy once you learn what all of these mean. A simply stands for the total amount that we're going to be left with. This is our initial investment plus compound interest. This is what we're trying to calculate. P simply stands for the initial principal balance, and we had P as an example in simple interest. R over N simply stands for R being the interest rate divided by N, the number of times interest is applied per time period. And this is raised to the power NT. N meaning what it did before, the number of times interest is applied per time period, and T is the number of time periods elapsed. Now this may sound complicated, but let's put this into an example. Alright, let's say we found a stock that pays us 7% annually, and we want to invest in this stock for the next 2 years. What we're going to do for this example is pretend we're investing $1,000 in this stock. You simply need to close brackets, 1 plus, this is R over N. So we said for the interest rate we would be making 7%. So for this we need to put this in decimal form, so 7% being 0.07. Let's say our compound interest is paid out daily, just to make it simple. So there's 365 days in a year, so we'll put 365 days here, being the amount of times the interest is paid. Now all we need to do is simply raise it to the power NT. So N being 365 days, and we said we want to invest for 2 years. So we would simply have 365 times 2. And you can see in this example, with a 7% compounding interest paid daily, over 2 years we would be left with 1,150. Now let's do one more example just to get you more familiar with the subject. Let's say this time our bank is offering us a 2.5% interest, which is compounded weekly, and we want to invest for the next 5 years. What we're going to do for this example is invest £10,000. Simply do what we did before, close brackets, 1 plus, and then at the top we put our interest rate. So for this, 2.5% would be 0.025. Now we're getting paid this interest weekly, and there's approximately 52 weeks in a year, so we put 52 here. We simply raise this to 52, the amount of weeks in a year, and times it by however long or however many years we're going to be investing for. So in this example, we're going to invest for 5 years. You can see after 5 years of compounding weekly interest, we would be left with $11,331. And that's as simple as compound interest is. As long as you memorize this formula or take a photo of it and simply remember what A, P, R, N, and T are, then you're going to be able to calculate any type of compound interest or simple interest that you might need to do. And there we go, we now know how to calculate both simple and compound interest. Now I hope this was able to help a few of you guys. If it was, please leave a like and comment if it was able to help you at all. Once again, thanks for watching my channel. I'm Cowboy Trades, and I'm out.